So I've re-listened to this episode 4 times. Tried to figure out why the audio cut off at the 14-minute and 48-second mark. And I've decided that I'm going to re-upload this episode. And I'm just going to let it sit as it is. I'm not going to add to it. I'm not going to try and finish it. I felt like the rest of the episode was really, really good. I remember recording it. But I recognize now that the purpose of this episode is not about anything else other than me just telling my story. The last year has been really hard. It's been a real challenge. And there have been moments when I have thought about the story that I share in this episode. And there's been moments when I've legitimately thought, like, man, maybe the world would have been better if that would have happened. But I will tell you that the thing that I've come to truly understand more than anything else is that when you're dead, you're done. When you die, you're done. There's no more opportunity to create impact. There's no opportunity to live. There's no opportunity to experience. And there's no opportunity to show what the real possibility of life, living life, not just existing in life, but truly living. That opportunity goes away when you're no longer putting air in your lungs. And so as I sit here in this field in the middle of a Texas ranch, watching red-tailed hawks fly by, watching turkey vultures fly over, hearing gunshots in the distance from people living life while they're shooting guns out of helicopters, I re-listened to this episode, and I've made the decision that I'm going to post this episode with this preface exactly as it is. Take it for what you will. Imperfect, unfinished. A great representation of truly who I am in this process of life. Imperfect and unfinished. So with that being said, this episode was called Choose Your Hard. And it's unfinished. So you get to make up whatever you want to make up for the ending. But the story needs to be told, and it needs not to be deleted again. So here it is. This was originally episode number 4. I believe it will now be uploaded as episode number 7. But whatever episode number it ends up as, it will stand truly as a testament of what being unfinished looks like. And also recognizing that you get to choose the hard that you want to live, rather than choosing the hard of just existing. I heard somebody say that if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. I'm going to call bullshit. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. If you do what is hard, your life will be hard. At the end of the day, your life is going to be fucking hard because life is hard. You get to choose the hard you want. That's ultimately what this boils down to. If you do what is easy, and let's just say you make the easy choice over the hard choice. It's easier to get McDonald's and an ice cream than it is to eat healthy and cook your own meal. It's easier to drink booze and feel like a victim than it is to drink water and recognize that you can be the changer and creator of your life. No matter what you choose, it's going to be fucking hard. The question is, are you going to choose to live like a victim, or are you going to choose to live like a creator? The fact of the matter is that the United States military special operations is full of all sorts of different kinds of people. It's full of douchebags, hard workers, really good quality individuals, and really shitty quality individuals. It's full of everybody. I mean, it's a microcosm of the U.S. population. It's a direct representation in a lot of ways of the U.S. population. You get dudes who aren't very smart that are hard as fuck. You get guys that aren't hard as fuck that are super smart but are also physically capable. There's no such thing as, the perfect operator, or I think, in fact, in that matter, the perfect person ever. But with that being said, when you choose and you volunteer to go to selection or BUDS or any of the other type of selection processes out there for the United States military special operations, you're volunteering to do something really fucking hard. And when you get selected, it doesn't get easier. The U.S. Army Special Forces Qualification Course, or the SFQC, when you get selected and you go to the Q course, it doesn't get any easier. You have to learn a foreign language. That shit ain't easy. You have to become very proficient in a subject matter expert, even in your job set, whatever that job skill is. That's not fucking easy. You have to go through SEER school again. I mean, for those of us who volunteered to go the first 2 times prior to us even going to the selection, I was a glutton for punishment. I volunteered to go to SEER school a couple of times prior to selection, and then after selection and went to the Q course, I had to go through SEER again. That's not easy. That shit's hard. Selection's hard. Q course is hard. Then you get to your team and you think, oh, I'm a Green Beret. I'm at my team. Well, that ain't the fucking case. Like, you're a nobody. Just keep your fucking mouth closed and your ears open. Do your fucking job. And doing the job's not easy. There's nothing about it is easy. It's hugely, hugely fulfilling. So much purpose can be found. So much identity can be found. So much opportunity to be better generally in what you do and knowledge base. It's there. It's available. It's fucking spectacular, and it ain't fucking easy. I had a guy once said, look, Adam, it's very, very, very simple. You can make a decision. Making the decision is simple. It's a simple decision, left or right. Simple decision, left or right. It ain't fucking easy. Sometimes the hardest thing for us to do is to make the hard decision. It's one of the number one, I think, deficiencies in new business owners and leaders that are still developing themselves. We're all developing ourselves as leaders, but I'm talking about brand new leaders, is making a hard decision. For new business owners, it's keeping that cancerous sales guy that's generating a shit ton of fucking revenue, but he's a worthless piece of shit. He has a horrible attitude, or she has a horrible attitude. She likes to talk shit about the company. She talks shit about other people, or he talks shit about other people inside of the company. Like, they're just cancer. The hard decision would be to get rid of them. The easy decision is to keep them on because they're generating revenue. It's simple. It's a simple decision. You either get rid of them or you keep them. It's not easy. And the reason why the decision's not easy, and the reason why making the easy choice or doing easy things in your life is hard, is because even the easy things aren't hard, because there's so much emotional capital invested into the decision that's made. A lot of times people eat like shit because they don't find themselves to have any personal value or personal worth. The easy decision is to eat the cheeseburger or the Big Mac or the French fries, the ice cream or the pizza or whatever shitty, unhealthy food you want to consume for the day to continue to feed your fucking fat problem. But your body is not the problem. It's your lack of personal value and worth. That's the problem. So many people think they're unworthy. So many people think they're unworthy to have anything in their life. So many people think they're unworthy to have success. So many people think they're unworthy to start. I had somebody, this was said at an event, and I just couldn't believe it. They were like, man, I feel like an imposter. They had a company that was worth $3 million. They had done $3 million in revenue, and they grew their company 100% every year. So the first year they did business, 150% the next year. The first year they did business was $500,000. The next year they did $1 million. The next year they did $3 million. And he said, I feel like I'm an imposter. And he said this to me. Now, I've helped grow other companies to be very successful. I've helped grow other companies to make millions of dollars. I've never grown my own personal company to make millions of dollars, but I've helped other companies do it. And here I am speaking at this event about leadership and team development. And here's this guy saying that he feels like an imposter. He feels like an imposter because he doesn't see his own worth and value. He doesn't feel worthy to be inside the same space. So the fact is that there's a shit ton of motivational speakers out there that speak from a place of a lack of personal experience. And they speak to things that they don't necessarily know or they haven't necessarily experienced. I know what it is to be broke as fuck. I know what it is to be homeless. I know what it is to be hopeless and helpless to the point of wanting to kill yourself. So let's tell that story. I haven't actually told this story other than speaking events or speaking engagements. So I'll tell the story for the podcast and just put it out there. When I decided to get out of the military, I lost my identity, my mission, and my purpose completely. And I think I might have spoken to this story a little bit in the first episode. Anyway, I spent a long time sending out emails and resumes, and I pushed them out, a lot of them out. And I didn't really hear anything back. And the other piece too was, like, I wasn't going to go fucking work at a McDonald's or a Wendy's and flip burgers and fry fries. I'd literally just got done doing pretty high-level operations in the U.S. military that had a lot of impact. There's a lot of purpose behind all the stuff that I did. At least I felt it. And then I stepped into the civilian market, and I didn't speak the language. I don't speak the language. I don't have the same mentality, and I lost my identity. I lost my purpose, and I had no mission. So it was a Tuesday morning, and my now wife, my fiance at the time, she was doing an internship program. So she quit her job that she had gotten a bachelor's degree, and she quit her job. She decided to go back to school to get her master's to be a prosthetics and orthotics clinician or technician. I can't remember exactly what the title is. So she went back to school to get her master's degree. And at the end of the master's degree program, she had to do an internship. So she was interning for a company, and we were living in this little small cabin in south of Lexington, Kentucky, in a little town called Lancaster. Or if you're from there, it's Lancaster. And it was a Tuesday morning. And that Monday, I had sent a text message, a very good friend of mine, very close friend of mine, and said, "Hey, I'm back in town. I'd like to take you out for a beer." Now, mind you, I couldn't afford anything. I couldn't afford to put gas in the truck. I couldn't afford to put groceries in the refrigerator. I had no income, I had no money. We were making less than $18,000 a year, and that was just on her income being in an intern program. And so I was selling my military surplus, all the military gear that I had acquired over the years of being in. I was selling it just so I could put gas in the truck, a little food on the table. You want to talk about feeling worthless? You want to talk about having no personal value? Go from doing a job where you are in a lot of ways on the top of the food chain, and everything you do is purpose-driven and intentional. Step into the civilian market. Have your body shut down on you and not function properly. Have your body stop producing testosterone. Find yourself in a depression. You have no identity. You have no purpose. You have no mission. And you can't provide. You cannot provide. You can't even participate in providing. Because you're so fucking lost in your own bullshit stories that you can't see any possibility of anything, because you only know what you know. You don't know how to translate your skill set into the civilian market. You never learned how to do that. Nobody taught you how to do that. You don't know how to take what you've learned and find or figure out a way to make it of value to the civilian market. You're just kind of lost, man. That's where I found myself. So my fiance left and she went to work, and I drank every drop of alcohol in the house, and there was a lot. And I wrote my suicide note. And I sat on the couch and I looked at my pistol, and I decided that I was done and I didn't want to be here anymore. And the last thing I remember is lifting the pistol up to put in my mouth. And I remember the pistol steel of the slide sitting on my teeth. And that was the last thing I remember. That's it. The next thing I remember is coming to, being laid over on the couch with the pistol still in my hand, and my fiance coming through the back door of the house. And I realized that my suicide note was on the table and the gun was in my hand. And so I snatched the note up to try and hide it. And she proceeded to get upset with me. She got angry with me because all she saw was booze bottles everywhere and me passed out on the couch playing with my pistol. It's a normal Tuesday, normal Wednesday, whatever day it was. Tuesday, I think it was a Tuesday morning. So that was it. That was the bottom of the bottom of the bottom right there. Really, truly was. The next day I got a phone call from my good friend who owns a tactical training company out of Louisville, Kentucky. And when he called me, he asked me, he's like, dude, are you back? And I was like, yeah, I'm back. He's like, no, are you back? Like, are you back in town? Are you contracting? Are you leaving again? Are you going anywhere? I was like, no, bro, I'm back. I'm good. I'm here. I'm in. I'm back. And he was like, good. Well, are you looking for work? And in my mind, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, dude, I'll lick the shit off your toilet for $20 right now. Like $20 is $20. That's where we are with this. And so the next week he offered me an opportunity to come help him out with a job that he had to do in Northern Ohio. And so we, that Sunday I linked up and we went to Northern Ohio. We were supposed to train 12 or 14 guys. I think initially, I think we ended up training 40 something the first 4 days and it dropped down to like 20 something the last day. And we came back and he gave me twice as much as what we agreed upon. And he wrote me a check and he said it wasn't an option. And it was his investment. He said, this is my investment into you. I want you to be a part of this company. If you don't want to be a part of the company, I understand, but use this to, get your shit caught up. I understand where you're at. And, he gave me some cash. And he said, go do something this weekend for you and the missus. Go get a steak and go get some jeans, whatever. Just fucking go do it because you can. And in that moment, what I realized was that I didn't have a tribe, and now I did. And I also knew that I had value. That what I had learned was translatable, it was presentable, it could be brought to law enforcement and help them be better. And I heard a quote the other day, and I don't know if I wrote it down or not, but I heard a quote the other day, and I thought it was really spectacular. Oh, it was this quote. It said, when you don't get a miracle, you can be one. And in that moment, my boy Tripp was my miracle. He was the miracle. And it was a miracle of recognizing and understanding that I had value, that I wasn't worthless, that I could provide something and help other people make it home to their families. And that's what I did. And so for some time after that, about 3.5 years, I became the director of training for this company and trained a shit ton of law enforcement officers all over the country. Train them in basic tactics, train a lot of SWAT officers, focused on not only tactics, but the combination of mechanics and mentality. You guys know, and I speak to this before, I believe that tactics is a combination of mechanics and mentality. And I think that, a monkey can push the button and pull the lever, but it's about the when and why